All right, hello, this is David Barron. I am owner of Eastern Oregon Hypnosis. I'm also part of the Advanced Hypnosis Skills Facebook group. I'm also developing, along with my partner Ryan, a website and a program called University of Hypnotism. Too many names lodged in my head right now. But so basically what I wanted to talk about is something that I'm very excited about doing because it's something I've developed because I saw there was a need for it. Typically what happens is when I'm working with people, hey Angus, thanks for joining us. Typically what happens is when I'm working with people in my hypnosis practice, what happens is they come to me with a problem. Now, I've been doing this a long time. Solving people's problems is not that difficult anymore. It's typically a matter of they consciously want to change and their subconscious mind's doing something different. And it's really a matter of just instructing that part of the subconscious mind to make the change. So, what I do is basically I can do it usually in one session. I also teach how to do this as well. And people will come back for a follow-up. I always demand that so that we can make sure they got the results. So consistently, that's worked out very well for me. There are people who will tell you that you need to do hypnosis over several sessions, and honestly, I've seldom found a reason to do that. But occasionally there are some fine-tuning that needs to take place, but most of the results I can get very effectively in one session, whether it's anxiety, phobias, weight loss, and stopping smoking, all those sorts of things. So what I was doing is basically pondering, okay, these people have great results, they're very happy with it. I was thinking, how could I make their lives better? In other words, they've solved a problem, they've gotten a good result. What about their lives could be improved? And giving some thought to that, I developed a program that I offered to them after the first the follow-up. The program is called Enhanced Skills, and again in Facebook, I'm sorry if you have it reading it the wrong direction. It's a feature of using your iPhone on Facebook. But if you want to download it, go to the Advanced Hypnosis Skills Facebook group, and you'll find a link where you can download it. And what I'm going to do here is basically describe the whole process. I'm describing it partly for those people who might find it interesting to go through, but also for those hypnotists who think it would be cool to do. Now, I designed it. What I give you, you're absolutely welcome to back engineer and figure out how to do it yourself. I also teach this though. So I've gotten some really good results. I'd rather you not go through trial and error. So if you want me to sort of describe it to you, there's going to be some opportunities where I can do that so that you learn it and you know how to do it the way that I've gotten the results. So essentially the Enhanced Skills training, it's designed in 6 sessions. Now, essentially, only 5 of those sessions are we really accomplishing major changes in the individual. The 6th one is really awesome. It piles it all together. I just had a client today who went through the 6th one. It was like, oh, as wonderful as it was for her, it was incredible. I mean, she had all of this incredible stuff that going on after we compiled all of those 5 sessions and sort of consolidated them, integrated them into the 6th session. So it is 6 sessions. And I have some basic rules here. The overview is to go through a 6-session training that what it trains you to do, it trains in concentration skills that will in relevant areas of your life. It will be applied to learning and memory. In addition to that, enhance social interactions. increase motivation, in other words, become unstoppable, and improve your overall confidence and self-esteem in life, satisfaction in general. So these are all very positives. I do have some requirements for those people that I offer this to. The very first one, which for now I'm pretty strict on, is you have to have worked with me successfully already. So I offer this to people after we've followed up. I give them opportunity. My policy at this point, this is not a hard sell. I am presenting you with this opportunity. It's up to you to decide to do it. You're a good candidate for it. So again, the requirement is you have to have worked with me before. There are some conditions where I probably would work with somebody just doing the whole training and not having worked with them before, but it would require some commitments. There's obviously a financial obligation. I'll put that aside. There are ways of negotiating that. Each applicant must be interviewed and determined for a suitability for the training. Each session is going to last from 1 to 2 hours, and it's divided by about a week apart. Between each session, I give very specific and very important and very necessary assignments that the person is obligated to fulfill. If they don't fulfill them, then failure to comply, I have it in bold, underlined words, failure to comply will result in ending the training without refund. So that's how the mindset is. Now, as far as the sessions go, what I want to do when I describe the sessions, consider them in terms of one step at a time. So they are rather sequential. They each have a benefit that adds to the next one. The very first session is essentially what I create for them, something called Sanctuary. If you have either trained with me in hypnosis training or you've trained with Jeff Stevens when he was alive, he probably introduced you to the concept of the sanctuary. Essentially, sanctuary is a mental construct. It's a place in the mind. Some people refer to it as the happy place. I call it sanctuary because that means a lot. It means safety, but I also emphasize that sanctuary is a place where you are the very most in control. It's a place where you're absolutely safe, the most in control, and where you can imagine anything. So we create this place of sanctuary, and as we go there, we make it clear that this place is available to the client at any time. And when they go there, it recharges them, it energizes them, it gives them, it sort of resets everything. So if they're under any stress, 30 seconds in sanctuary just sort of resets it, like you take an hour and a half break. Doing it every day or doing it in stressful situations, doing it consistently eases the stress level. It also trains the client to really get into an internally focused state, which is going to benefit them for the rest of the hypnosis training that follows. So their obligation, once they've learned sanctuary, is to practice it regularly every day, as often as they can or as often as they need to, a minimum of twice a day, for every day of that week. And they know that they will have to report back to me. So again, they're under obligation. They know they will have to report back to me to describe and tell me what the results were. With every session, they're given homework. Now, in addition to practicing going into sanctuary, I give them prep for the next session. The next session involves social skills awareness and being comfortable in social environments. Now, we all know there are people, when you say the word social anxiety, they don't even know what that means. They feel so comfortable around people. that they can do anything. That's not a lot of people. You can find a great deal of people who want to feel more comfortable in social interactions and feel confident about what they have to say and be comfortable with people. The next session is designed to do that. The assignment that I give them for this second session is to get a book. The specific book is called Snoop, What Your Stuff Says About You. It's by the author Sam Gosling. The purpose of this is to be able to look at other people and their environment and assess where they're at. People generally will set up things within their environment for two reasons. One, it is to display to other people what they want to be perceived as. This is a typical Facebook mentality. We only put on Facebook what we want other people to see and think that that's us. So it is somewhat of a facade. There is another reason people, though, put things in their environment. Maybe you see people with motivational posters or pictures of their family that face inward as opposed to outward, so that they can see it. These motivational posters, these inward-facing pictures of people, are to reinforce into the person a value. Maybe it's a comforting sort of value. Well, the whole book, Snoop, What Your Stuff Says About You, describes this in wonderful detail, much more than I've been able to give you. And with it, it trains the person, it teaches the reader to, instead of looking at wondering themselves, am I doing this right? What should I say? How do they think of me? It has them pay attention outwardly to the environment, people around them, to everything that's going on. So in addition, what they come to the second session is having read this book. Then in the second session, we deal specifically with any sort of social anxiety that they may have. Some of my clients I've done this with are horse trainers. They work wonderfully with animals, but they are not comfortable with people. So we do hypnosis to gain confidence, to gain a sense of strength, to actually physically stand taller, to feel comfortable in social situations. And the hypnosis then dissolves the whole thought of anxiety in social situations. Plus, they have with that tool of being able to observe other people and make assumptions, guesses about what this person is like. I also introduce in this second session what's called the Human Needs Map. That is a construction that was given to me by Chase Hughes, who owns a website called ellipsisbehavior.com. So if you type into Google ellipsis behavior, you'll find his site. It's incredible stuff. Essentially, the Human Needs Map describes how everyone is motivated by a deep human need that is usually created by hurt. It's a need maybe for acceptance, for a sense of power. It could be for understanding or appreciation. But when this need is fulfilled, people respond to it in a very positive way. And when you're able to recognize this and look at people and see that they have these motivations, you'll find that when you fill those needs, they light up. They just feel wonderful. So again, this is taught in the second session, along with how to observe other people, and combining that with that confidence. When they come back for the third session, I always ask them to report how the process goes. what happens is they're amazed at what they've been able to notice about their environment, about how they set up their desk, for example, and what that tells them about themselves, and how obvious it is. And they notice it in other people as well. They're also less in their heads when they're talking with people. In other words, they're less worried, am I doing this right? They're less concerned of, what does he think of me? What should I say next? They're more in the moment when they're talking with people. So that's what they report when they come back to the third session. So I want you to think of these in sequences. First section is sanctuary, meditative play. Second session, advanced social skills. Third section is really fun, and it's sort of bizarre because it's hard to figure out why it's there, but I'll tell you why. In the third section, I teach them how to hallucinate, how to willingly imagine something in their hand to the point where they see it in absolute and perfect total detail. They can turn it around like it's almost there. And this is done in hypnosis. Now, why would someone want to do this? Well, I found that the incredible benefit is it totally increases their ability to focus, because that's one of the huge benefits. If you focus your awareness at a certain point, in a certain way, with a certain mindset, you actually can create or imagine this image there. In fact, I did this one test, this sort of funny story. I did this one test where I had someone, we were doing it over Skype, so I had her look at the camera, and then this person standing in front of the camera. So she should have been seeing me, but instead this person that she hallucinated stood in front of the camera and blocked her vision of me. I asked her to describe this person. So as she described this, I held up a sign with the F word on it right in front of the camera. It would have gone right into her face and shocked her, but she had no memory, no comment, no idea I did it as she was describing this hallucination that we created. So with this particular skill, they learn this incredible sense of focus. Now I asked them as homework, one of their obligations is to practice it. Now they don't have to practice it a lot, but I need them to practice it at least 2 or 3 or 4 times so that they can sort of turn that switch on. And what that switch is about narrowing the focus, just intensely narrowing the focus so that what they're paying attention to is the only thing they're paying attention to. And when they come back for the 4th session, I ask them to report what's going on and what they've noticed. And they just said the detail that they can imagine things in is incredible. It's amazing. So as I got a couple of thank yous. Thank you very much. So this is the 3rd session. So I'll go over again: sanctuary, safe place, social skills, being able to hallucinate, and the 4th session is the one that sort of blows people's minds away. Because what we do in that session is we create an ideal personality. I start by listening from them. Who's someone that you admire? Who's someone that you admire to the point that you would want to be like that person? It could be a real person. It could be someone imaginary or fictional. It could be someone make up. But we start talking in a great deal of detail about this ideal person and the personality this individual has. For one of my clients, and for what you would probably notice with a lot of people, is if it's someone that they know, it's usually a family member, and it can get really emotional. In other words, they recall this family member and tears come to their eyes. When that happens, I always remind them that whatever you're feeling, this is important. This is important. So I want you to go ahead and just recognize those feelings, because that's going to draw you into becoming this type of person. Once we've talked about it, I've made detailed notes of the qualities of character. We go through a process, again, hypnosis, and again, this is now at least the 5th or 6th time we've done hypnosis, and they've gotten very good at it. We go through a process where they're very deep in hypnosis. Their ability to visualize is incredibly intense, and we go through a process called the black room, and it is essentially being able to take on qualities of the black room helps in taking on qualities of other people. In other hypnosis processes, it's referred to as deep trance identification. I think there are some other names for it as well that don't come to mind right now. So the end result when they leave, and this is amazingly consistent, is they report not being the same person. We have essentially changed their personality and changed their identity in an incredibly dramatic sort of way. So that seems for a lot of people a little bizarre and freaky, but measurably it is the result that you'll see. They've changed who they think they are. That's something I found in hypnosis, when working with people in hypnosis, is one of the most powerful changes you can make. And it happens most of the time that I work with people. A good example, smokers. You can take away the craving, but when they start to identify themselves in their heart as a non-smoker, it doesn't matter if they have a craving. They're a non-smoker. So that change of identity is really important. And now they identify with all these incredible values, this person that they want to become. And again, when they come back for the next session, it becomes even, they demonstrate, they talk about it. Again, we're reaffirming the changes, and they notice the results. Then we go to the 5th session. Now the 5th session is interesting because it's basically about perfecting your ability to learn. I have done several times, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 times, a process called the learning place. Learning place creates an ability to learn that is almost an eidetic memory. It takes about 3 days with someone to do it. It's incredibly intense, and for the hypnotist, it's incredibly exhausting. But it's really amazing the results that you get working in hypnosis for 3 days to create this process where anything you know that's valuable to learn is immediately learned and then made immediately available for recall. I can't do that entire process in the 5th session, but I can do a major part of it. Keep in mind, by the 5th session, they have trained their mind to go into that state intensely, uniquely, and on command. So they now have a very malleable subconscious mind that can be accessed and can be trained. So I go through portions of the process called the learning place, with examples of things that they are learning right now. So instead of generalizing to the world, we just focus on a few things. If the person is studying a class, we take that material. And noticing how easily with this hypnosis process, the information is taken in, and how just thinking about it becomes natural and it comes forth. It's easy to recall. That's the 5th session. And again, the 6th session is the final session. I will always ask what they've experienced in the previous session. So I ask them to review what's happened in the 5th session. And in the 5th session, typically what they would tell me is that they're learning this particular field very well, but they've noticed it generalizes. That, like, for example, they have to take a check into the printer, and all they have to do is say, I got to remember that number of the check so I can write it down in the ledger, and they have no problem. It's immediately there for them. So it tends to generalize. And I tell them this, that the more they practice this particular skill, the more it's going to generalize. But the obligation, the weight of the responsibility is on them to practice it. So they've gone through these 5 sessions. Now the 6th session has only one purpose. It's to bring it all together. So again, let's just consider what each of these processes have done. First of all, the first session, they create a sanctuary, a meditative place. This is a place that will prepare their mind for hypnosis and protect them when they're not in hypnosis and recharge them when they are under stress. Second session, social skills. Their mastery of and confidence has increased. So their motivation to, by this time, has increased as well to learn in this way. Third session, we have done an intensely focused skill building set that teaches them how to hallucinate. The 4th session is creating that ideal person and actually changing the personality. I don't say anything less than that. Yes, your personality changes from that 4th session. It changes into the one that you want. 5th session, so you have these now 5 weeks of this type of training, and the 6th session is designed to simply consolidate it. The process I use, I'm pretty excited about because I got to use it today on one of my clients. She went through it all, and I can describe it to you. Imagine each one of, let's call the person Terry. So let's imagine Terry, he or she, is in hypnosis, and what she has to see in front of her is the Terry first from the very first session that learned this hypnosis skill. Beyond that is another Terry. That Terry is the Terry who mastered social skills and is very perceptive and socially astute. Beyond that is the 3rd session Terry, who can focus intently. The 4th, beyond that, is the 4th session Terry, which is the one who has that new personality. And the 5th session, or the 5th person, the 5th Terry, is the one that has the ideal learning skills. And through the hypnosis, one by one, with these versions of him or herself in front of her in a line, she takes a step and absorbs the first one. Feels great. Takes another, and then when they're ready, takes a step, absorbs the next one, feels wonderful, incorporates it, integrates it, and it goes through each one of these steps. The 3rd one, the 4th one, the 5th one, and they come back to sanctuary. They feel different. It's all integrated. They know it feels. They know what it's like to have these skills now. They wake up and they feel awesome. So that's the full description here. Now I'm working on the training aspect, the trainer's guide. It's a work in progress. For those of you who are relatively new to hypnosis, I would love to help you out. I encourage you. At some point very soon, we're going to have the universityofhypnotism.com up. And this is the book that I use to train people. It's the seminar guide. It's pretty good. It has all of the original stuff that my mentor Jeff Stevens put into it. Additionally, it has my commentary that I've added to it. And for a training manual, it's very good. If you focus, if you understand it, you can use this. You can use this very well to learn hypnosis. And additionally, I do coach people as well. Something I do want to sort of bring is I will be doing training live in January. If you go to thehypnosisseminar.com, you'll notice that that's where you can join. Now, the training that I do is a small group. I will be doing larger groups, but a small group for now. And it's going to be in Boise, Idaho, closest to where I live. But all the information there will be there. If you have any questions about this, I'm excited to talk to you about it. I love this topic. I am all about making people change in the most positive and beneficial way that they can imagine. I would love to answer any questions that you have. So you can Facebook chat with me. If you go to some of these websites, you'll find a number where you can contact me at. Please go to the Advanced Hypnosis Skills Facebook group. That will benefit you. That's where we can sort of have an ongoing discussion here. And I was wondering if anyone want to find out if anyone has any questions. Haven't got any questions. So basically, I just want to thank you. This is, excuse me. This is an opportunity for me to talk about something that I love talking about. And if I thought I had more to talk about, I probably would, because this is so enjoyable. But I'm feeling a bit tapped out on this subject. If you do have any questions, please give me a call, contact me any way possible. You'll be able to read and review this video. Also on the YouTube channel, which is called University of Hypnotism. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I love this. We're going to be doing some great stuff. And please just let me know if I can help. Thank you much. Take care.